Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is so nice to be able to spend this Monday morning with you. And we've got to get talking about something absolutely important because from March 17th to 23rd, South Africa observed National Library Week. Now, this is a time dedicated to celebrating the power of books and also access to knowledge. But for thousands of children across South Africa, a library remains a distant dream. Now, the Bookery is changing that by building and sustaining well-stocked school libraries, ensuring that every learner has access to books, resources, as well as trained library staff. And joining us on the couch today, we have Shelly de Wet, Managing Director of the Bookery, as well as Nkosinati Elu, Library Support Officer, to discuss the critical role of libraries in transforming education. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
What important work you're doing. I mean, just considering so many statistics and facts in South Africa, which we'll get to in just a bit. But Shelly, maybe I can start with you, just talking about the work you guys have already done, because it's clearly more about books, right? It's about breaking boundaries and also giving access to the next generation to make sure they're good. And in the last 15 years, you guys have opened 98 libraries, which is incredible. Can we actually give them a round of applause for that? My goodness. So what really inspired you to go down this avenue and support South Africa in this sense?
The Bookery was established specifically to address the chronic shortage of school libraries in public schools in South Africa. And even though we've done 98 school libraries, most schools still do not have a school library.
Sure.
And one of the key issues with that is that children in more under-resourced areas don't actually have access to books outside of the school environment. They don't have access at home, and parents aren't able to necessarily afford to purchase books for them. So this is a very key space in terms of creating access for children to books.
Absolutely. I mean, the library was one of my favorite places to go to. More high school than anything. It was a safe space. And shout out to our librarian, Mrs. Manners, also, who just made sure that we were all sorted. But when I look at the statistics that I mentioned earlier, it's quite harrowing. I mean, 81% of grade 4 learners can't read for meaning. So how does the Bookery really directly combat this issue?
We're working towards creating an ecosystem of support, and one of the key things in that space is actually creating access to books in a safe space that is curated in a way that is helpful to children to be able to be curious about the world that they live in, to be able to answer questions and to help them read for enjoyment, being able to choose something that is amazing to them, that piques their interest and curiosity, and they're able to then read for enjoyment first, and then as they read for enjoyment, they're able to then learn to read for meaning, and that is what helps children in their growth and developments in terms of reading.
Absolutely, and it's always so great, Nkosinati, I can come to you for this one, when you are guided by a well-skilled librarian, because sometimes it gets overwhelming. You step into a library, where do I begin? Oh my goodness, the Dewey Decimal System, my word, what do I do? So what is the importance of having the resource like a skilled librarian or somebody to assist you on your journey?
In short, basically the library assistant creates the magic in the library by guiding the learners with age-appropriate books, facilitating programs, and basically making sure that everybody has got what's fitting to their age. Most importantly is that they create the magic in the library, and the libraries are a creative space. If you know the learners follow the CAPS curricula in the class, but the library assistant has got the privilege of just running with it and creating the magic in the library.
That's amazing. I love that you said it's magic, because it kind of feels like that. And books, like you said, are a creative outlet. It allows your imagination to run wild and access other worlds, which is so important, which is why we want this more. And I think, using this national platform right now, it might be a great time for you guys to let us know what else can be done to support your journey. I mean, can businesses get involved? Who can help support you to increase it from 98 school libraries to so much more?
So basically, big businesses can get involved in their social corporate investments, and individuals as well can get involved. They can donate books, they can donate money, and even their own time. We've got a lot of people coming through the office to volunteer their own time in order to aid what we do.
That's beautiful. Shelley, maybe I could just have some lasting words with you, just talking a bit more about the Bookery's goals for the next year and maybe even the next couple of years. I think you also touched on it, but getting that support, where do we go from here?
Well, we've had the privilege of being able to open 98 libraries so far. We're working on our 99th, and by middle of the year we will have created 100 libraries.
Wow.
And we've done that in 15 years, and we're really hoping to accelerate that. So we'd like to continue to be able to do that. We'd like to do our next 100 libraries faster than we've done the first. So we'd welcome any partnerships in that space. We'd like to also deepen our program so that we're able to support children more in the specific goals that they have for reading. And we love it when people get involved. There's a space for everybody. There's a space for an individual. There's a space for a corporate, and we'd welcome any kind of support that's offered to us.
I love it. Shelley and Kosanati, thank you so much for being here.